Hey folks, welcome to Faulkner Fixes All. Another fabulous update. Did you know that the Huffy Corporation put a $60 million bid to buy the Schwinn name when Schwinn went into bankruptcy? But Pacific Bicycle, overseas, I think in Japan, outbid them. So there was a time that Huffy was gonna own Schwinn. So yeah, so it's kind of like working on a Schwinn, but not. All right, so let's do a little update here. We gotta switch some things around. I need this stand pretty desperately, and I don't feel like unfolding the park stand, and I just want this rolling stand back. And this, I'm waiting on a chain and a few other parts to come. But this is the update right now. We got these funky bars in here and a Schwinn varsity stem. The shifter is hooked up, obviously. There you go, waiting on a chain. Everything's kind of hooked up. Front brakes are not hooked up, hence the F for front. You don't want to mix that up. And R for rear. You don't want to grab the wrong brake. Yeah, we got these kind of hooked up. Could use some new pads. It's okay for now. Strut rod is painted and in place. Does have the barrel adjuster there. That's going to go in there and down to a little Weinman clamp. And it should work out pretty good. This turned out very well. And I did change the front axle from the quick release. I used a rear axle. It was quite difficult getting the right cones to fit in these dust covers, but I managed to do it a couple of attempts. But that is a rear axle from a different rear wheel, but it was enough to give me the length I needed to get these strut rods over that and still have threads showing. That was important. So this is no longer quick release, and it's all repacked and not scratchy. So I'm waiting on a chain and possibly some better bars. I'm not really sold on these yet. They're very comfortable. I've had these on other bikes. They're very comfy. But let's just fast forward to what really has to happen to get this off the stand. Now, you know me. If the bike doesn't have a kickstand, it's pretty much useless to me. So this was Huffy's feeble attempt at copying Schwinn's built-in kickstand. As you can see, it's just a rolled piece that's welded, and it's quite different, and I'll show you what goes in there. Basically, the Huffy kickstand is a very cheap copy of what Schwinn was doing. There's no real spring except this thing that also acts as the retainer that holds it on. There's a roll pin that goes here on two different areas on there. You can see when I took it apart. And there's this little square guy, which I guess it just kind of goes in there and does square guy things. I didn't really pay attention when I took it apart. I did have to clean a lot of really bad grease out of here. And that's usually about half of what you do on bikes when you want to make them run again, is clear the old grease away and inspect parts and put new grease in. If you just learned that early, you'll be okay. Okay, so we're going to take this off the stand, tip it upside down, rest it on this little seat post deal. I actually get to have my work glove back. That would be nice. And we're going to tip it upside down and see if I can just smack this kickstand back together. I think you just put these pieces in with grease and you smash this on with a hammer. So that was Huffy's idea of, hey, you know, no special tool needed for the Schwinn kickstand. You need, let's see, I got it around here somewhere. I know you guys love it when I dig in my tools. I can't find it right now, but it's a special tool that releases the Schwinn kickstand. Remind me later. Yeah, it's really cold today. It's snowing outside a little bit still. Give you an update of what's going on. It's sunny and snowing. Well, partly cloudy and snowing. It's kind of a doozer last night. Anyway, yeah, let's get this off the stand and we'll turn it upside down and we'll have a kickstand in here and we can put this other coppertone varsity. It's one I want to sell. So, you guys here? Yeah, I want to sell this coppertone varsity, and we'll get into that in a minute. But for right now, I need this good stand back. And I could just unfold the park stand I have over there, but that would really clutter up the shop. And hey, I get my work glove back. That's really cool. I was wondering where that was. Now let's take this off. Okay, yeah, this is, I don't know about these bars. Nice to have this glove back though. Yeah, these bars are odd. Yeah. I mean, they're comfy. You're just not going to get much leverage and, you know, popping a wheelie or anything like that, or going off a jump. These are just for comfort. And that's fine, but this bike has to be a little more than that, actually, for what I want to do with it. Okay, so let's flip it over without dinging ourselves. Okay, so we gotta make this kickstand work. And I think you slide it in with grease, put the two pieces in, and then smash that on with a hammer. I've only done a few of these. Let's get you closer here. And like I say, I wasn't really paying attention when I was disassembling it. I was moving rather rapidly. So let's just do a dry run here. I guess we pop this in, and then you put these pieces in with it down, with it folded, and then you pop the hammer and you hammer the little clip in. I guess that's what's going to happen. Let's put some grease on this, and apparently this little square one is the stopper. That's their idea of a stopper, and this roll pin just acts as the tensioner. When you move the kickstand back and forth, this roll pin presses up against into that little metal clip that I've already painted. All right, let's grease this up and throw it in. Quit squawking and get to working. Okay, you guys here? Yeah, of course you're here. Where would you be? All right, we'll put some grease on that. There's probably plenty of grease. Yeah, I remember taking this off very quickly, and I was moving rapidly that day. That's going to get all over the frame now. Oh, that's great. Dang, son. Yeah, let's get some of that off. Yeah, a little Huffy update, and then we'll jump on the varsity. I'll probably time-lapse you on the varsity. We're going to wrap the bars. I think I am going to throw in the, here's the square one. I think I am going to use the, I have some really nice new old stock wrap for that bike. Oh, there it is. So that's just the stop. That just keeps it from going too far, I see. The square one, the one I just put in, just keeps it from going too far. That's all that does. Then this roll pin goes in, and that is what tensions it. So let's get some of that excess off, and then we'll see if we can pound that clip on and see how that retains it. And the clip has a little, you see the clip has a specially made, I guess they didn't want this part, which goes on the square part, to do anything. Or they wanted that separated for some reason. I don't know why. You'd think they'd just make one piece. But that hole there is to prevent this from cracking the whole way. So let's put this on. I've cleaned it. There's plenty of grease in there. I've cleaned it and painted it. And obviously the line goes in between the roll pin and the square part. So here we go. might be putting it on wrong. Something's going on here. Maybe it goes that way. Huh, I can't remember. No, it probably goes the other way. Yeah, I took it out pretty quickly. I can't really remember which way. Oh, it can only go this way. It can't go that way. All right. Let's keep pounding. Doesn't seem to be doing much. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. I scratched up the frame pretty good. Oh, I see. That has to be down like that. Oh, it has to be. I see. It has to be up like that. Okay, maybe it goes on like this. All right, let's give that a shot. Oh, okay. A little bit funky. Okay. Huh. Something's wrong here. Something is wrong. Huh. I guess I'll have to get back to you on this one. Yeah, it's weird. Maybe it gets twisted a little more. I'm going to take this off and look at the wear marks. Something is wrong. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. We're going to take this back off. Look at the witness marks in here, and maybe twist this more that way and try it again. I'm sure that's what's going on because the roll pin's right here, and that square part's right here, and that's not doing anything. This has got to be twisted around the other way. Okay, so bear with me. It's still exciting. We'll be right back. It's still exciting. Hey, we're back. Yeah, I was right. I was correct. The clip has to be spun that way a little bit, and this clip, this spring clip, probably is a one-shot deal. It's kind of weak, and you can see the spring part lifting up. You see it move? That's that roll pin snapping in, and that square pin, its only job is to limit this from going too far. You know, like that square part is holding it against here now, and then back here it holds it against from smacking on the frame. But that roll pin, its job is to spring against this clip, which is probably spring steel, and do spring clicky things. It works, but not like Schwinn. You know, the Schwinn ones really notch in right like that. Will it vibrate down and hit the ground? No, it takes a lot of force to make that move. You can see it trying to move there. It's just loose, and you can see the roll pin moving. Well, you can't see the roll pin moving. You can see the roll pin clicking up on that little spring clip I painted. Okay, so it's in. It was kind of messy, and I was right. It had to be turned this way. You know, sometimes we do stuff off camera. All right, so this could actually be set up off the stand momentarily while we get the coppertone one on. The Huffy update for this is complete for today. Until I can get a chain coming in the mail, or I can get a chain from somewhere that's not super cheap riveted crap, and I can show you what chains I'm talking about. Let's see. this actually works. Yay! We have kickstand. Oh, you didn't see that. Anyway, yeah, I'll do it again. Huffy kickstand. Yay! We have kickstand. Okay, so I'll show you what a really cheap chain looks like that is riveted. If I can find it real quick without digging too much. I didn't really have that ready for you. I apologize, but what is happening in the bike world is you go to a cheap place like Wally World and you buy a 10-speed chain, and it's rivets. There's rivets holding the chain together instead of pins. Like this one's good. This new chain, which I did not buy at that particular store, came off of line, and it has pins which are pressed in at the factory. And so what they're passing off as chains is actually a very cheap representation of a chain, and it has rivets. And we all know that a rivet is not as strong as a hardened pin. Anyway, let's push this to the side and quit jibber-jawing and put this coppertone varsity that I want to sell on here. Oh man, it's nice to have a bike with a kickstand. That is just beautiful. That is nice. Okay, I'd say the Huffy is probably 80% there. Let's get this little devil on here. Now this one has its own issues, and I'm not going to sell it like that. I'm going to fix the issues first, and then I'm going to attempt to sell it either on my channel or on eBay. Somebody might chime in and wants it. I'll tell you what the size is. It's definitely not my size. Anyway, I've got this piece of paper on here to protect the emblem, because I'm going to put it in this stand, and this particular stand has some wear on it, and I got a piece of leather in there. But I'm just trying to protect the coppertone paint. It's just something I do sometimes to protect that little Schwinn emblem. What happens is you're working on it and it twists around in here. It twists around the stand when you're working on it, and it mars the finish on the bike. So it's something to be careful about. Okay, up we go! Yay! Yes! Schwinn varsity. Okay, we got this Schwinn varsity in the stand. We've got a few things to do to it. I've got this paper protecting the emblem. Sometimes I do that to protect it. If it moves a lot in the stand, like so, if it twists, it could mar that. I'm going to sell this one. It's too small for me, but I am going to fix some of the problems first before I sell it. Imagine that. We did get the kickstand on this. It's looking pretty fly. It's not like a Schwinn kickstand, but it does work. There's a little clip on there. It holds. I'd say this Huffy is about 80% done and about 1% original Huffy. Okay, where we're going to take that, it's not going to matter. All right, so what I did was I found a derailleur for this. It was missing the top derailleur, and I found one that's Schwinn approved, and it looks pretty good. I put it on there, and I think we're okay there. We got to cable this, and we're going to switch this seat out. It's wrong, and this is a comfy Schwinn seat, and I need it for something else. I've already switched the bars from the blue varsity. I switched these bars because I'm going to keep this bike, and I like these. I like this bend more. It's a little more comfy the way this bar is, and I've got this one ready to wrap, but we're not going to wrap it yet. And I put these steel bars in this CV stem on here. Now Schwinn makes a stem for this, but it's hard to find. It's a different diameter than the cheapy stems. I'll show you one that you would think would work, but it doesn't. Like this style right here. Typical varsity. This one's from '77. It's got the ridge on it. The other ones don't really have that ridge. Anyway, this is too loose. The diameter is too skinny. On the early varsities, 64, 5, 66, I think in 67 they started getting the smaller one, but those couple years, that early varsity with the down tube shifters were the thicker stem, thicker diameter, and you can use this. It's just kind of wobbly in there. And they did make a varsity that was a 3-speed upright bar bike in the 50s, but this is not it. Schwinn Varsity kind of rebadged it, renamed itself, and became a 10-speed in 64 or so. I think maybe 61, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, we're going to cable this, wrap it, and switch this seat out for a Schwinn, normal Schwinn smaller seat. I might even take the one off of that blue bike. It's not Schwinn, but it's comfy. And but I would really like to find a Schwinn seat that's smaller, the right one, so I can offer this as, you know, something that's kind of stock. Now, there is another problem with the headset, and we're going to have to get into that. I'm not going to sell it like this. Let me see if you can get in here and look. There's a lot of play in this lower bearing. And I can't really show you. Yeah, you can see. Get this out of the way. Look right here. Yeah, I'm not going to sell it that way. I am going to fix it. Don't worry. I'm going to fix it. So we are going to cough up the coppertone wrap tape. Oh yeah, you can really see it this way. We are going to wrap it with the coppertone. We are going to put the cable on here, and we are going to switch this seat. I'll find some decent pedals, and basically I'm going to sell this. I will give you the price and availability on the end video. We're not there yet, but I'm going to fix it. I'm not going to offer it in any way, shape, or form as a fixer-upper. It's going to be a running bike, and that's just the way we've got to roll. It's got a new freewheel, got a new chain, and somebody, I think his name was Z-Man, he was a subscriber, and he sent me these. And thank you so much. I feel weird trying to make money on this bike from somebody sending me a few parts, but thank you for sending those. And you can always tell one of the earlier varsities has the Nervar, and same with this. I think this is a 65 or so. This also has the Nervar cranks. You can always tell. Now this one I am going to fix up for me. Everything's got to be repacked. And yeah, but we do have blue bar tape for this one. And I like this bend better, like I said earlier. I like this better. Now this frame is a little small for me, but I can ride it with not too much difficulty. But this one is just way too small. Let's see what this is. Probably a 17-inch frame. Probably a little bigger than the smaller Girls Breeze. I'm not sure. Let's measure it. It's pretty small, son. Pretty small. It appears to be a 19. Yeah. So that's one of Schwinn's second to the smallest size. I wonder what this blue one is. Let's measure this blue one. I know you guys are just dying to know. Why should it be the same size? It's not, though. I can always tell. You can always tell, you know, rule of thumb. You look here at this distance, you know, and that'll tell you if it's a small frame or not. And see that one's bigger. This distance is bigger. So I would estimate this to be at least a 21-inch frame. Let's see what it is. Yeah, 21.5. 21, little over 21. Yeah. And from experience, I know that that's a little small for me, but it's not the end of the world. I think I can deal. You know, we'll get a little leg extension. And as with this Huffy, we're not going to get any leg extension, but that's what you get when you ride a cantilever frame. It's a kid's bike. Cantilever frames were built for kids. They weren't for adults going on long rides. So when you're out there with your Schwinn Cruiser and you're wondering why your legs hurt, just flip back to my channel and watch a few videos. Okay, so we'll put you on time lapse. The next update, I'll show you the bar wrap. Here we go. Bar tape. Here we go. We got some bar tape in here. The next one. We got some blue. Can't find the coppertone right now, but I do have some blue tape. This is for the other bike. I know I've got this somewhere. And we will cough it up. I do want to sell the bike, and if I don't put the right stuff on it, it probably won't sell for the money I want to get. Anyway, that's it for now. We have 80% on the Huffy. Huffy good vibrations. It's getting there. You know, we got stuff ready to go on here. Just waiting for a chain. I don't want to go to Wally World and buy a riveted chain. I'm going to buy a good chain. Don't worry about all this. Yeah, you know, life goes on. Hey, okay, thanks for tuning in, and think about becoming a subscriber, and think about becoming a paid subscriber, and just think about your choices in life. And when you get bummed out, go out in your shop and work on some stuff. Okay, that's it for now. Look at that little rust spot. Oh, dear. Okay, have a good day. Think good thoughts. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Guaranteed. Oh, I'm back. Yeah, I thought I would just show you that cheap chain I'm talking about. Yeah, this is the riveted style chain. Really bad. They give you a snap link. Oh boy, that's mighty gracious of them. But it's rivets. If you look closely, the pins are rivets. So don't buy this. Don't buy this chain. It came in a lot of stuff that someone gave me. I would have never purchased that. And here is the Schwinn approved coppertone color. Let's take a look at that, huh? Should be just enough to wrap this bike. It is correct. That's not Harvest Gold. That's not Sunset Orange. That is actual coppertone grip tape. It should be enough. You unroll it, you cut it in half, and you start here and go over. Now, we'll have to remove these. You can leave them on, but I usually take them off while I'm wrapping, and then I put them back on. These levers are where I want them. We're just gonna go for it. I think I'll put you on time lapse. That'll be the next video, but I thought I would just chuck that in there. We do have it. And we have some Hunt Wild Sky Blue. That should be good for that other bike over there. Let's go check the color. Not too concerned about this one because I'm not selling this. It's big enough for me to ride, and I probably will put off-road tires on this. But retain the Schwinn rims. Because, you know, only purist off-road Schwinn varsities. Hey, hope you're doing good. I didn't put vinegar on any of these two bikes, but I might. Stay tuned and have a good day. And next video, I promise, will be the time lapse of me wrapping that, and we'll go from there. Okay, see you later.